Doing the bullpen, feeling the flow, working it.
Hot stuff coming up.
Are you sure this is legal?
I don't know. It's fun though, isn't it?
Why make trillions when we could make billions?
Good evening, stock traders, and welcome to Stock Traders Talk Radio. Here on a beautiful Monday night, February the 20th, 2012. I'm your host, STT. Joining me on tonight's program, I have QT Cal.
Hey there, Mike. How are ya?
I am fantastic. How about yourself?
Doing fantabulous. Thanks for asking.
That is good to hear. Also, joining us on the program tonight is Hoss.
All right, seriously, Mike, you have QT Cal saying fantabulous now?
Yep.
This is getting absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, my language is starting to spread.
All right, well, let's just hope it doesn't keep on spreading too much to where it's annoying. But nice to be here tonight. I know all of us have been working hard getting this new site up, so I'm excited for the future here at STT Radio. I'm doing great tonight.
That's good to hear, sir. Also joining us on the program tonight is Mr. Cup.
What's going on, Mike? How are you? Hoss, QT? How's everything? Yeah.
Hey, Cop. Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Did STT get a new mic? Is that what happened? Is that what's going on here?
Nope, no new mic.
You sound very crisp.
Always crisp. Crisp, clear, and clean. It's the way I like to do it. Okay, if you missed last night's show, we did a stock spotlight on ticker symbol RTGV. That's right, RTGV. You can listen to that show on Investor Sub under videos, then market commentary. Look for the date of 2/19/2012. On tonight's show, we have a nice lineup. We also have a surprise CEO interview for you tomorrow night. Just booked that one today. It was very good. But for tonight's show, we've got you yet another stock spotlight. And taking roll of that stock spotlight is Cop. Cop, take it.
Perfect. Yeah, QT, we're going to do this one together. You okay with that?
Sounds fantastic.
I mean, last night you booted me completely. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to do stock ticker ICTY, which is iCity.com. Now, this is for those of you that out there who are brand new to the show, to give you a little heads up how this works, is basically when it comes to stock spotlights, I pick them solely. And I pick them for many, many, many reasons. And normally it's most read, most popular, or something I like to call a money ball. And this is something that is a money ball. And the reason why this is a very difficult stock to DD and a very difficult one to understand when it has some unique and long history. I have actually traded this stock probably since, I'm going to go with November of 2008. Somewhere around there. And so I don't know if any of you guys on here remember when it was Echelon Brands Ltd. and it actually and they appointed the new CEO. You guys remember that? ICTY, and that's when it became formerly known as iCity.com Inc. And that's when they announced Mr. Brad Wilson at the time as the new CEO, and he's still the CEO for now. But that's how long this has been. It's been one turbulent ride, to say the least. Now, the big thing that is beautiful and why I always go back to the stock is I normally go back sometime around August, okay? It runs a beautiful cycle to where in August you can buy all the triple ones and twos that you want, and you know by the time December comes around, you're going to get an 8, 9, or a 10. Always, like clockwork, and it's always been that way. And, you know, a lot of different press releases, a lot of different things. And what I'd like to do, QT, I know you dug up on some of the past things that they've been doing, or the type, or the business plan, if you will.
Yes. As far as what's going on, it's very interesting because I'd like to go to OTC markets just to get an overview, and there is no business description under OTC markets. So, and I don't see much of a website there. So, there was one area where it led me to, I believe it was ICTY.com, which is no longer. I couldn't get anything up under that website. So. Finally found the website as ICTYgroup.com, and that will lead you to the website that is currently operating for the company. ICTY.com Inc., also described or known as ICTY Group. So there was a little bit there that I had to kind of dig to kind of understand what's going on. So what this company has done, it's basically a direct-to-consumer marketing company. And it talks about how they offer proprietary products, and their focus is through multiple channels of media distribution and providing clients with strategic consulting and analytical solutions as well. They were seeking to acquire new channels of distribution and technology in internet enterprise, web applications, incentive-based advertising, which were tied to the vehicles of CPM and CPA marketing, ad networks, mobile media applications, consumer-facing brands with established membership databases, as well as natural resource companies in the oil, gas, and junior mining field. So there's a lot going on there. They go from a media and marketing consumer-based company to also consulting with or providing other services to oil, gas, and junior mining companies, which I'm sure that's going to come into play later when we talk about this company. Currently, what was set up on the marketing side were two distinct business models. They had a raffle-based site using incentive CPA reward programs where visitors could register for free to win premium coupons and travel packages and things like that. That's how they were trying to reach out to visitors to build up a marketing base for several companies. They also had a membership-based subscription web platform, which they would provide a social community for dynamics and discount programs to members. So it was all basically marketing around these two concepts: the raffle and get paid to concept, and then also going under travel memberships and premium membership sites to drive traffic into social commerce communities. So that, in a nutshell, is what they had been doing up to this, or up to recent times.
Now, do you have the updated shareholder update that was recently released?
I do, the one from February 9th.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Okay. So that release, which now, and I can just go over the press release. It says ICTY.com Inc. releases shareholder updates regarding acquisition strategy for 2012. It says ICTY.com Inc. announces today, Thursday, February 9th, 2012, the following update to shareholders. ICTY.com Inc. would like to update the shareholders on the direction of the company for Q1 2012. As previously stated, ICTY.com Inc. has always been seeking a suitable merger candidate with a primary focus on natural resource and junior mining companies. The company is currently in late-stage negotiations with two mining companies as merger candidates. The company has a non-disclosure and non-circumvent agreement with the parties. Both companies are in the advanced stages of their mining exploration, with significant holdings and mineral deposits to explore and meet the requirements for a public company. Completing both of these transactions is management's current primary mandate, contrary to much negative public opinion. We expect to be able to announce completion of both transactions within the very foreseeable future. Until such time as a signed contract, due diligence, and compliance with all appropriate regulations are completed, we are bound by non-disclosure restrictions that will not be violated by management. Part of the merger will include the recruitment and announcement of industry-leading management joining ICTY.com Inc. Once the merger is complete, management will step down in favor of these industry experts more qualified to run the company's expanded operations. Immediately upon the signed execution of an agreement and compliance with all appropriate regulatory authorities, transparent details of the transaction will be released for all shareholders and interested parties. The company cautions all shareholders that non-verifiable rumors are not credible. The only credible information is as officially presented as fact by ICTY.com Inc. Management. Kindest regards, ICTY Management, Bradley Wilson, CEO.
All right, so let's kind of dig into this. The reason why this perks up is, I mean, it's like any other PR, right? We see PRs all the time, great stuff, and all of that. The old trend, if you will, of every business has business plans of certain kind, and I know from the history of this company, there's been a couple channels, just like you kind of described, to where there's different avenues of where they're trying to create revenue stream. Now, in some cases, those didn't work out, for whatever reason, funding, the other party potentially, or it could have been just bad decision making on whether that was going to be a viable business or not. I'm going to go with all of those being part of that. Now, the one thing about it, when you're running an OTC company for 4 years, you know exactly the routines, the games, the trends, and everything about it. Okay. Now, historically, this company, and the main reason why I chose this was this company gets beat up all the time, absolutely all the time. It's called a scam. It's called this. It's called everything that you can imagine. Now, there's only one key thing that doesn't fit right now, and what doesn't fit is Mr. Wilson knows this world, and he knows if he's going to go to a mining company, the right time to do that press release was 3 months ago, maybe even 6 months ago. Right? When gold was screaming, when all of that type of stuff was happening. However, they didn't do that. Right? So clearly wasn't this just shot in the dark, I want to dump shares on you. Right? They came after the fact when gold started going back down and all of that and brought this out. Now there could be a lot of different reasons for that. But I'm gonna go with the fact that the company was not trying to just sell shares. Okay? Now there could have been some convertibles they were waiting on. There could have been some pre-staging of certain things, or it could have been a real viable avenue to where the fact that they have this. And that's the carrot, okay? That's the one carrot I kind of want to point to, is that they potentially can have this. Now, when you break out the weekly chart on this play, as I told you earlier, that this has been a play that I've done for many years, and it runs that August to December top and drop, and then see you next year. All right? You guys notice what just happened in January, February? It broke stride, right? Big, huge volume coming in there. Huge money, right? So let me kind of talk to you about what exactly has transpired over a little while here. And I'm going to pull you all the way back to, I'm going to go to the beginning of October, right? The beginning of October, in all of October, it looks like you had maybe, I don't know, $10,000 traded, but there's about 20 million in volume there, trading between 0.002 and 3. Not too many threes out there, and some ones, right? There was one day that had traded $2,000 and 14 million shares in between 1 and 2. Had the 50% pop, that there could have been a little cycling there because it looks like nobody was tagging at the threes. So that's normally a very difficult play. Right? Most people that play pennies don't buy twos, right? Twos is like the devil's sin, right? Because it's 100%, and the people that are buying ones are okay with selling twos because it's 100% they're gone, and the people that are holding the twos are either stuck and will take a 50% cut to sell, or they got to get a run. All right, so it's very, very dangerous at that time, which tells me somebody was loading a little bit. All right, that's what that indicates right there. Because then there's zero volume all the way until the it looks like, let's go with what do we got here? January 6th is what it is, and it was like it was 160,000 shares, but that's hardly nothing, right? A couple days equate up, and it starts bouncing around, very little volume still, and then what you end up getting, hold on one second. All right, then what you end up getting is you get the volume increase in there a little bit, and on let's go with February. First week of February, $14,000, $2,000, $10,000, $55,000 on the 8th, $47,000 on the 9th, another $14,000 on the 10th, another $24,000 on the 13th, another $61,000 on the 14th, right? $24,000 on the 15th, then only $5,000 on the 16th, and then almost $30,000 on the 17th, right? Now what you're seeing is you're seeing a cycle between the quad 4 and the quad 6. Then it starts staircasing up, doing the 7-8, the 6-9, the 6-10, then the 9-12, 7-11, and then the 9-12, and ending that way and closing at the 12. Right? I think the 12 is a high close on the Friday. I think it should have been more of an 11, but we'll go with whatever it is. But the thing to understand about that is that went across 2 weekends, right? 2 weekends, one with the upcoming weekend, and kept closing higher. That means somebody is loading the living crap out of this thing, right? And here's the problem. The people of the OTC world that have been trading these pennies forever aren't going to buy ICTY at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They just aren't going to do it, right? So clearly there's some information some information is being leaked, or there's some serious money coming into this play that's not from the norm. And that's what I want to drive you to. This is what I refer to as the money ball. Follow the money. Absolutely follow the money. So, Hoss, do you ever play this one? Did I lose you?
Sorry, I was on mute. No, I have not played this one, actually, but I've been hearing some things, and I almost got in on Friday. Haven't bit the bite yet, though.
Right. Now, but historically, based off of trading our quads, and you and I are pretty, understand the quads probably like the back of our hand. A lot of things aren't adding up there with the normal penny world, are they?
No, not at all.
Exactly. And that's the big thing that, I want to point out with the amount of money and what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. So earlier, QT talked about a lot of different things that the business was, right? And then they come out with the shareholder release on the 9th, right? Now, most people would sit there and go, okay, there's Bradley Wilson putting out another PR again. We ain't buying it this time for the 10th time or whatever the case may be. Nothing on that man. I'm sure he has the approach to go after business and is trying to do the best job he can. Contrary to popular belief, these companies that are in the OTC raise capital by selling shares, right? That doesn't mean they're a scam or any of that other crap. It just means what it is. Some businesses work, some don't. But somebody, whoever's close to that company, knows that he has something. There's no doubt about it. There's no group, there's no promotion team that would dare run this thing at 9, 10, and 11. It just wouldn't happen. And if they did, they would be getting paid at the yin yang, to tell you the truth. And it's just, we all know this play. So when you start seeing the buzz that's being piped up about the play for what it is, it's sending off red flags in the opposite direction. So I think this is a viable runner that's in the making, and somebody is really doing a lot of things with it. Now, the one thing about it is, I'm going to tell you a couple things I would want to see. So, if you shareholders are out there listening, I want you to call Mr. Wilson. This is what I want you to tell him. Your OS is your AS is too high. If you really got this and you're really going this route, shrink it, right? That's what you should be telling them. Okay, I think it's at $5 billion. Am I right on that? Let me check. Authorized shares is $5 billion, right? Now, your shares outstanding is, according to this, as of September 30th, is $2,277,000,000. Now, I'm sure there's a huge amount of restricted in there, and definitely you're getting a lot of the float being locked up here. So what is the actual tradable float? I don't know. I would say $1 billion probably, maybe a little less than that. Who knows? But it's got to be someplace around there, just based off of you should not be able to move a stock from. Let me give this to you so you guys can understand what you're dealing with. On the 1st of February, the low was 0.0001. That was the low. Okay, and then you closed at 12. in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 trading days. And you got 30, right around 100, well, maybe about 210. 210 million shares traded in that time frame. There is no way it's going to move 11 ticks. Right? That's just, it doesn't, and hold. I mean, they may go up and then come back down, but it's not going to hold. So somebody is loading the boat. There's no doubt about that. I think all the indicators show that. Now the question is going to be what's going to be your next spot. So you tell your CEO that I want an AS reduction. See what answer you get from there. The next thing would be your the notice that QT actually read to you, which was, and I'm going to go back to that here for a second, because I want to analyze this just a little bit more of what's actually being said here. All right? All right. We're updating the shareholders on February 9th. Okay. Why do that? After some of the history that's actually been happening here, I'm sure their phones have been ringing off the hook, being abused and all that other type of stuff. So he did that, right? So a gift to the shareholders, or it could be something else. It could be the fact that he had to release this because there's some certain negotiations that are going on. When you're doing stuff with the junior mining companies and stuff like that, there's some compliance and there's certain things you kind of have to announce, and it's not always to sell shares. And if it's to sell shares, somebody bought them, okay? So maybe there's a little bit more to actually look at with that. But I want you to key on some wording from this. If you go back and you read the press releases in the past from Mr. Wilson, right, which I have read them all right, and there's certain ways they word PRs, right, and there's always the hope, the dream of making it big and all that other type of stuff, and there's certain writing style. Okay, if you look at this one, there are certain keywords in here that are different, all right, and I want to give you one. Currently in the late stage of negotiations, okay? The old PRs would have said currently in negotiations. So why put late stage, right? What's the point of that? So it's another little tidbit there. Now, what I would recommend everybody do is if you don't have an account at Investors Hub, I would get one, and I would go to the Investor Hub board and of ICTY. And I would talk to a couple of key people. Let me see. If I remember correctly, Pastor Phil used to be there back in 2008 with me. There's a couple other people. I know Homie's been there for a very, very long time. And they know this company like the back of their hand. They know the cycles, and they know a lot of different things about it. And I know if they're sitting there, they would probably tell you something's different. I know they would, because it's broke. And the money volume that's coming in is a little unprecedented. And we've gone through it for years on every single time from that August to December. It would be the number one breakout board. I mean, it would get there, most read, all that other stuff, big pump up, the normal players coming and running. And then next thing you know, 4 days later, they're gone. And then you got the bag holders that are sitting there screaming to the CEO that he's a scam, whatever. Okay. I mean, that's just people trading a stock. Where you're basing something off of a value that it's actually not. And that's a big thing to understand. And I get the fact that, the Rocket City, I get the fact that the Vandy Flash Clothing Company, I get all that stuff. I know the whole thing about all of that. And just from me playing this play and seeing what's going on, there's something different that's going on here. So it's worth taking a look at and going from there. Do you have anything to add that I didn't cover there, QT?
No, I think that was great. I mean, the only other things that I noticed that, as far as the transition into the company, because, just to look at where they've been in a short period of time just with the PRs, I mean, they've made alliances with Boulevard Media Group and also First Priority Travel. And it sounded like, that this was gung-ho and that they were going to, do this, focus on that aspect of the business with the marketing. Where I thought, it started to look interesting was the fact that under consulting, if you go under their website, it specifically talks about that they are actively seeking companies to acquire that would benefit from a public company platform. So they're already, asking or they're putting it out there as far as two primary target business sectors. The first one being a membership-based type of traffic, something from the CPM and CPA revenue programs. And then they talk about natural resource companies with oil, gas, or mineral deposits. So, it's interesting to see that was actually within their website, as well as their quarterly report, which, pretty much talked about the fact that they were not making revenues at that point at the end of September. So, what's the next step? And now we see this PR with them being in the late stages of negotiations with the mining companies. It's just very interesting how that progressed over the last 6 months.
Sure, and what you don't know is you don't know what assets they actually had. I read all the I went through and I read the quarterlies and all that other type of stuff, and there's only so much you're going to sell me, and a lot of them, at this stage, prior to this, what's happening here, there wouldn't be hardly anything I would believe, unless it was like audited financials or something like that. And it's not that I don't believe, in what Mr. Wilson's saying. I'm just saying that from a trader, if I can't get the stock to move up so I can make money off of it, I don't want to be invested in it. Now, that's been the big thing with this company is it hasn't had investors. It's had flippers, right? Because everybody knows that you can flip this thing, and we don't have much of a conscience out there for what it says. Because the people that you flip to is a new bag holder for a year unless they sell for a loss beforehand. That's the reality to it. The other very, very vital piece of information here, and you actually read it, in some form, the man's been doing this for 4 years, been trying to find different business avenues to actually work, right? Mm-hmm. Some of these assets that you don't know, I believe by looking at it, I think they still had the production piece, the 2010 production piece or whatever the case may be. But there's definitely something where it happened with these other avenues. When you're working with two other businesses, both businesses got to be able to perform. Now, if you make some type of arrangement with whoever from that marketing standpoint, that's a push-pull relationship, right? I don't know if they didn't perform or if it was the other businesses that didn't perform, whatever. Point being, it didn't work. So your business model and your business plan and your objectives that you had are gone. So you seek a new objective. What is odd about a lot of this is this doesn't look like it's something that's been. It looks like it's something that has been in the works for a while. Meaning, that you look over the last 6 months of press releases, they were what I would call fluff to a certain degree, pacify shareholders while you're doing other operations of some form. So it definitely looks like this has been something here has been going in play. Now, the one thing that after doing this for 4 years, what Mr. Wilson writes in here is once the merger is complete, management will step down in favor of these industry experts more qualified to run the company's expanded operations. Now, I'm sure when many people read that, they're like, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, now, in their perception, this was Wilson's, cash cow. Okay, why is he giving up his cash cow, right? That's what a lot of the penny players are actually thinking. So there's a lot of different things that aren't adding up or connecting the dots in the norm here. And for them to do that means there's definitely some form of some major action or something major is actually happening here. And, it doesn't matter about the words, it doesn't matter about the press release, it really doesn't even matter what the hell I'm telling you. Okay? What I will go with is this. The money is everything. It's the whole reason why everybody trades stocks, to make money, period. Right? And if all the money is flowing there in the amounts that it is over the course of the last week, which is huge for this stock, and trending up across 2 weekends, seems to me to be pretty much a no-brainer. Mm-hmm. That's what I got, unless you got anything to add, Hoss.
I got nothing. You guys covered a lot. Good stuff.
Perfect. I'm ready to vote.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at ICTY, and is it a buy, a sell, or a hold for tomorrow? I'm going to start with QT Cal tonight.
Oh, the pressure. This is just for tomorrow, right?
Just for tomorrow.
Okay, based on just for tomorrow, and I know that they're still in negotiations with the mining company, so I'm going to just say for tomorrow, it's a sell.
Sell for tomorrow. Cop.
I don't like when QT's wrong. It's a buy tomorrow. You want to know why it's a buy tomorrow? Right? Because now you could get an even on this play, but the reason why it's a buy tomorrow is they drove it. They drove it in the end of the day, and she's going to fly. Over a 3-day weekend, they bring in game.
Bring the game over the 3-day weekend. Okay, Haas.
Cobb did mention my choice. I'm going to go with a hold. If it breaks through this 0012 wall, I think it's going to go. That's been the key resistance point.
And it's above right now, right? 12's above.
It finished at 0012. 12's right on
11?
it.
Yeah. So
12's right on it.
Yep. I'm calling breakout.
Cobb's calling a breakout. I'm calling not a breakout tomorrow, but I could very easily be wrong. I'm gonna risk it and go with a hold.
Interesting.
Yep.
I was gonna go hold myself.
Oh, I'm winning this one. Go with a hold. Go with a hold.
No. I can't. I strategically, for the game's sake, I have to go buy. So I'm going to say buy for tomorrow.
You're being strategic now.
Yeah, that's all.
That's all. It is what it is. I mean, answer me something, Hoss, and answer me this, right?
Good. Yeah.
If before knowing the whole history of this company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you throw $60,000 at ICTY? At 10 or 12 or 11?
Of course not.
Hell no. However,
I'm not saying there aren't things going on in the background. I'm just saying it's not going to break out tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Come on, we're going for tomorrow. Okay, if you say midterm, is it going to bust that 0012 wall and break out? I would give 100% yeah.
Yeah.
There's been some major money flowing in here for absolutely no reason. So someone knows something, and that something is going to come to the plate probably sooner rather than later. I just don't think it's going to be tomorrow.
I definitely don't want to change your mind. I mean, you're the closest to me, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah. I want you to stay with your hold.
Well, I wasn't going to change my mind. What, you think just by word of mouth from Cop, I'm just all of a sudden going to change my mind? I'm calling a hold, buddy. I'm going to win this one.
I'm a puppet, man. I'm just speaking what QT writes to me.
Right. Like the Wizard of Oz, like the man behind the curtain.
Exactly.
She was kind of yelling at us earlier today, wasn't she?
She was.
She gets angry. When it comes to CD, she gets angry.
But that's it, Mike. That's what we got on ICTY.
Okay, fantastic. So we stand with 2 buys, a sell, and a hold all over the map on this one. We'll see how we turn out tomorrow. Don't forget, we have a new website up if you want to come over and check it out. We're not fully done with it, but it's close. It's stocktraderstalk.com. Come take a look. Brand new, whole new setup, whole new thing going on. You can listen to the show right there if you want. Up to you. We're going to take a small commercial break, and we're going to be back with What's Buzzing on iHub and then Cop's Corner. Looking forward to that. We'll be right back after these words.
And now, a quick word from thepennybin.com. What does one penny say to the other penny? Let's get together and make some sense. Are you tired of losing your hard-earned pennies? Be sure to visit thepennybin.com and download our iPhone app where delivery of our stock plays right into your iPhone instantly. The time to start making money is now. Please be advised that you may make huge sums of money and that thepennybin.com will not be held liable.
Stock Sumo, where we outweigh the competition, pushing and shoving our way to extreme profit in the penny stock arena. Go to StockSumo.com today to sign up for our free alerts via email or text message. StockSumo.com, where the gains are groundbreaking. Don't just take our word for it. Find out firsthand by heading over to StockSumo.com, home of the real heavy hitters.
Welcome back to Stock Traders Talk Radio. I'm your host, STT. Joining me on tonight's program, I have Cop, Haas, QT, Kyle. Did everybody make it back with me?
Yes.
Hey, hey.
That's always a good thing. I have everybody back. All right, let's jump on to the next segment with Haas and the top 10 buzzing around Investors Hub. Haas.
All right, I'll try to actually finish tonight. Looks like we got a little more time. We'll just start from the top of the board tonight and move our way down. This list, it might be vary a little bit, just depending on the time that you end up refreshing your front page of your iHub screen. Atrinsic Inc., ticker ATRN. Friday traded 31 million volume, finished at plus 13.68% at 30 cents. Trading range was 24.7 cents to 32.8 cents. I think most of us have become aware of this stock recently. We mentioned it sub-penny here on the radio show. Took a big dip and basically just has a perfect parabolic chart pattern going on right now, and still massive volume coming into this stock. I'm curious to see how high it's going to go. Moving down the list, number 2, ticker ATTD, Attitude Drinks. Traded on 109 million volume on Friday, finished at plus 8.16%. Currently trading at 0.0053, trading range of 0.0045 to 0.0058. Obviously, they're moving into some significant distribution with their Phase 3 recovery drink. You can use it for sports or anything, athletics, muscle building. February 16th, they announced a record order and expanded distribution with one of their key distributors in the southeastern United States, White Quartz Bottling. And White Quartz Bottling reordered 2 full truckloads, which was a 100% increase from their previous order. So they're obviously expanding their distribution throughout the Southeast and throughout the United States. They just announced their deal with Walgreens. So keep your eyes out for Phase 3 recovery drink on the market. Number 3, GDSM, Gold Coast Mining, also an STT radio profile company, a bit back at the 0.001 area. Traded 41 million shares on Friday, finished at plus 25.37%. Currently trading at 0.0084. Trading range 0.0067 to 0.0095. I personally thought it was going to break that 1 cent mark that we've been calling for so long on Friday, but I guess we'll probably have to wait until this week for it to break that 1 cent mark, which I remain 100% confident that it will. On February 14th, they announced their joint venture with Western Sierra to acquire some pretty significant gold claims, and they also noted in that press release that any day now they should be releasing an 8K regarding the financing terms of that agreement and the acquisition of those gold claims. So expect some news in the near future there, and keep an eye on the volume because there's still some massive volume buying coming into that stock. And we know how these gold companies get a life of their own once they acquire some claims and start announcing some things. Moving down the line, we have number 4, SNDY, Solos Endoscopy. Traded 60 million in volume on Friday, finished at plus 13.89%. Currently trading at 0.0082 with a trading range of 0.0068 to 0.0094 on Friday. Basically, the key thing with these guys, they have a bunch of different endoscopy products in the medical market, and they're putting those out to market this year, out of the research and development phase, so they're starting to bring in some revenues. On February 14th, they announced the retirement of 150 million common shares, which created some excitement and some recent buying volume into the stock. Took a little dip after it broke that 1 cent. Down to the 0.006 area, and seemed like volume came back into it to the buying side on Friday, so one to keep an eye on. If it breaks that penny mark again, it could, go to a few pennies. That one's been known to have some pretty big runs in the past too. Number 5, I'm not going to mention that ticker, so I'll substitute my own. I also mentioned this one last night. Kind of had to rush through it. Drake Gold Resources, ticker DKGR. Traded 41 million shares on Friday, finished at plus 78.13%. Currently trading at 0.0057, trading range on Friday of 0.0032 to 0.006. So finished close to that high day. Recently, they've been announcing some management changes. And again, I encourage you to read the bios of the key management that was just placed in the company. They have pretty good history when it comes to mining and gold resources. And curiously, I was watching Level 2 as it was about to break out on Friday. There's literally a 10 million share wall at 0.0055, and once it got to that point, it busted through it in one order. So there was a 9 million order and a 1 million order. So still some major buying volume coming into that stock. And judging by that buying volume, I would expect some very significant news in the near future. So I want to keep an eye on. Number 6, JBII Inc. Traded 68,000 shares on Friday, finished plus 1.16%. Currently trading at $1.74. Friday's trading range of $1.70 to $1.79. We profiled this stock, sub-dollar. We all know it ran to a few bucks about a year ago as they were ramping up their plastic to oil conversion system and putting it out to market. And earlier in the year here, just a couple of months ago, they announced a lawsuit that was brought up against them, which most of us determined was frivolous. We don't know that for sure, but that's what we think. It's not really related to their direct course of business, and took a big dip down into the 50-cent area, and it's been working its way back up ever since. It seems volume's still coming to the buying side in that stock, so it could easily keep going up. One to keep an eye on at all times throughout the year here as they put that plastic to oil conversion system to market and start bringing in some revenues. And actually, another note on that is they have a conference call next Monday, February 27th, as just a general business update. So if you're interested in the company, I encourage you to tune into that call. Number 7 on the list, Rapid Fire Marketing, ticker RFMK. Traded $67 million in volume on Friday, minus 32.61%. Currently trading at 0.0031 with a trading range of 0.003 to 0.0047. So finished near the low of day. And judging by that share volume, there was a lot of selling volume going on Friday for one reason or another. They have their big CannaCig. It's basically an e-cigarette with THC, aka marijuana, in it. Mike's big idea, as we all know. Stolen from him, of course. He should have put a patent on it when he had the chance. And the CannaCig is geared towards immediate and significant distribution as of early February. So they're going to start distributing that, putting it out to market, and bringing in some revenues there. One to keep an eye on. They do have fairly high share count. They have 2 billion authorized share count, 750 million outstanding share count, and a 450 million float. But judging by the potential market of the CannaCig, if they follow proper regulations with the various governmental agencies that they have to deal with, that could bring in some very significant revenues, and that company could go a long ways. So it's one to keep an eye on, especially with the drastic changes in share price and wide spreads. It's just a trader stock right now. Moving down the list, number 8, BCAP, Baron Capital. Ticker BCAP, traded at $169 million in volume on Friday, minus 16.67%. Currently trading at 0.0005, trip zero stock. Trading range on Friday was trip 04 to trip 06. This one's coming up all the way from the 0001 by 0002 spread. They just opened up their new transfer agent division in February here, and they recently announced that they're bringing a couple of private companies public through that transfer agency, and they had a conference call on Friday. I encourage you to check out iHub board for a description of the significant points from that conference call. Number 9, OPMG. This is a new one we haven't mentioned on the show, I don't think. Options Media Group Holdings. Traded 4.8 million shares on Friday, minus 3%, currently trading at 0.0058 with a trading range of 0.0055 to 0.006. I'm not a huge fan of this chart. It looks like there's been some selling going on over the course of the last few months. But basically, these guys have a subsidiary, PhoneGuard Inc., I'm sure all of you know who Justin Bieber is. He's involved with this Phone Guard Inc. He's made a couple of YouTube videos. Basically, this Phone Guard product is geared at preventing phone-related distractions while driving. And they recently announced a merger with Illumina Software Incorporated, which also has an IZUP software, which is also a responsible solution to phone-related distracted driving. So clearly these guys, they have a spokesperson in Justin Bieber, and, they got a couple of products going to market here to prevent distracted driving. I'm sure we're all used to texting and talking on our phones while we're driving and almost running into the car next to us, but not quite. We all know that, several accidents have resulted from distracted driving. But Justin Bieber, so people get excited about this stock, and apparently there's people buying this stock. I have some friends who've mentioned it to me a couple of times because they like Justin Bieber and what he has to say. Number 10 on the list, RTGB. We spotlighted this last night. RTG Ventures traded $213 million in volume on Friday, plus 87.5%. Currently trading at 0.003. Trading range 0.0014 to 0.0033. Finished near the high day. Tons of buying volume coming into the stock. If you want to know about the company, I encourage you to listen to our stock spotlight last night. But definitely want to keep an eye on with the buying volume coming into the stock. It's up big, but it could easily keep going because someone wants some shares for one reason or another. That's all I got. You guys got any additions?
I got one. Did you guys see the press release for ITKH today?
Ooh.
No.
ITNIC Holding Corporation. They had a press release this morning at 10:50, right? But let me read and this is, Mike, you love this stuff. ITNIC Holding Corporation posts more than $6 million in sales in its fiscal year 12 half-year financial report. You guys realize where that stock's trading?
Yes, I do.
0.0023.
You're not supposed to mention that on the show yet. I don't have all of the shares.
I'm just saying
come on.
I mean, what is I got to look at the share structure with that, but that's not right.
That's a secret stock. The one that's like no volume, but it has an awesome balance sheet, and the revenues keep going up, and the net profits keep going up, and you just don't mention that. You just keep loading it over time until someone big, catches on.
No, that's an easy one. That is an easy play.
I know it is.
I got to check that one real quick. That's what is it? ITKH?
Yes.
ITKH. I
encourage many people, everyone listening, to go DD that company because that's a real company right there. Trading at 0022 by 0023 right now.
Yeah, it is actually. Look at that. Look at that guy on 1/12/12 at 5:52 posting on there. Cup. Imagine that.
You would. You would. All right, let's get this straight. Very few penny stocks, especially penny stocks trading at 0.002, actually have a net income and revenues in the millions of dollars. This company, fortunately, has both.
Yeah, it's you're gonna see some group pitch going on there.
Oh yeah.
Tough, man. Great. Sorry, Mike.
All right, very well done, Haas.
I got caught up on Bieber. Sorry.
What do you mean you got caught up on him?
We know how much Haas loves the Biebs.
He can cat daddy. That's it. Justin Bieber can cat daddy.
All right, we got about 10 minutes left in the show. So let's throw it over to Cop's Corner and Mr. Cop. Cop.
All right, awesome. Just so you guys know, I think we've done maybe 4 or 5 different iHub boards. Tonight's Investors Hub board is probably the big dog, which is the top board, which is BB's Stock Haven. And it's like in its own world, just so you guys know. I mean, total score of almost 11,000. The closest to it is 6,000, and that's the scoring system on Investors Hub. But it's been the top board for a very, very long time. A shout out to I Like BB Stocks, Wang, Stock Analyzer, Momo, Stephen Vegas, Mantillion, and Massive Gains 10. Powerhouse crew that's actually on that board. And to give you an idea of exactly how many posts are on there, 2,567,488.
Wow.
All right. I mean, that's ridiculous. But as you guys know, I don't believe in anything really being new in trading. I believe over the years that when you see something that works, you collect it. If you see some post that means something that you can learn from, you grab it and you make your own journal and those type of things. But I've found a lot of stuff on the BB Stock Saving over the years. But one key thing I really kind of want to pull out to you, and it's and I'll give you a post number. It's 2,481,999. That's 2,481,999. And this was back in November 29th of 2011, and it was by Brick, and I know you guys all know him. But what he does is, when the traders get really good at what they're doing, especially in trading the penny stocks, they develop their own guidelines and certain things like that. And Wowza basically kind of told him, I want you to revise it. He's got 48 of them, so I'm going to rattle. And they're in no particular order and not meant to be exhaustive. Number one, do not believe what someone heard. They just want to sell you their shares. Number two, promotions are best played before the promotion starts. I agree. Number three, do not play a promotion unless it's clearly an intraday trade. Number four, do not hold a stock you are stuck in, hoping for an event. Number five, hold all cash at the end of the day. You can always buy the dip the next day. Number six, when someone says buy, do not buy until you have completed your own DD. Right? Number seven, if you do not get in a stock at your price, do not chase. There will be another one. Thousands. Number eight, 99% of all promotions are created because someone has stock to sell. 99% of all press releases are created because someone has stock to sell. Do not buy heavy based on a press release. Buy small. Get in, get out. Number 11, big budget promotions mean big share dumps. How true is that, huh? The number 12, try to incorporate bid sitting into your trading tactics. Number 13, you cannot, no matter how much money you pour into it, create momentum. Someone will appear out of nowhere and sell their shares. Number 14, large spreads mean harder to get out with your shirt still on. Try to avoid these stocks. Number 15, do not put a large amount of money into a low-volume stock. You'll be stuck in it. Number 16, chart indicators are virtually worthless in the OTC pinks. I think I say this every day. Only price and volume will give you a picture. Number 17, take your losses early. Number 18, when you are ahead in a stock, take your profit. Do not wait for a home run because they almost never happen. Number 19, for every home run stock, you can find 99 other stocks that were supposed to be home runs. Number 20, do not buy a stock on the opening bell gap. Wait for the pullback. Number 21, hold on one second. Number 21, 200 posts on a message board overnight does not mean a stock will go up in value. It usually means that someone has shares to sell. Number 22, never believe an OTC Pink CEO. They just want the best price to sell shares so they can keep their current level of living. Number 23, 99.9% of OTC companies will never go to a higher exchange. Number 24, OTC Pink companies, goodwill, and other intangible assets are worth zero on a balance sheet, regardless of the value they put on them. See number 22, intangibles are used to prop up balance sheets. Number 25, despite what many would have you believe, OTC Pink companies dilute their outstanding shares. If they didn't, they would have net income quarter after quarter and be listed on a higher exchange. Number 26, 99% of all companies that retire shares back to the Treasury want their stock price to go back up so they can issue more shares at a higher price. Number 27, to research a stock and to create a DD post, etc., means you go against nearly every point made in this document. That time could be better spent such as getting in and out of several stocks and the amount of time you spent creating a DD post. Number 28, a company that enters an XX billion-dollar industry does not mean they will get one dime from that industry. Number 29, treat reverse merger hype like a promotion. Add in the fact that many of these new companies will start by having an enormous reverse split to clean up the share structure for a new round of dilution. Number 30, if someone tells you something will happen in X amount of time, take that time and multiply it by 3 and add 2 days to it. 1% of the time, you'll have a good number. 99% of the time, you'll still be waiting. Number 31, any information you receive through a private message has probably been distorted 5 times by the 5 previous messengers. Don't believe it. Number 32, any information you receive through a private message is not given to you because this person likes you. He wants to sell you some shares. Number 33, don't look for someone to tell you when and where to buy a stock. If you cannot determine this on your own, then you probably should stick with your day job and let a professional financial advisor handle your assets. Number 34, never stop learning and read everything you can. It's called continuing education for a reason. Number 35, your friend may live next door. Your buddy will be someone you chat with over the internet. He just wants your money. Number 36, if you have more than one brokerage account, do not buy the same position in more than one account. You may be stuck in a position in both accounts. Number 37, cash is king. Number 38, an open 504 Form D is the plague. Avoid the stock at all costs, unless the odds of losing your money is at 100%. Number 39, shares will come off of restriction in 6 months or 1 year, depending if the holder of the restricted shares is a non-affiliate or affiliate, respectively. What this means is the float will be equal the OS after 6 months or 1 year. Hence, a float of X in September 2010 will equal an OS in September 2011. So if someone touts a float of X from numbers published a year ago, he just wants your money or is not very knowledgeable. You decide which. Number 40, if a stock is restricted to buying at major brokerage firms, you should write them a letter and thank them. They probably just saved your backside. Wow. Number 41, a 000 stock is a reverse split waiting to happen. Number 42, if a stock you hold announces a reverse split, treat it like number 38 above. Number 43, if you see a stock that has had more than one reverse split in the last couple of years, chances are it will have another one soon. Number 44, avoid any non-reporting company. Shares are being sold, and the only way you can see it is if the mysterious increased volume and or strange market maker parked on the ask. You may as well trade blindfolded. Number 45, if you play penny stocks, you must understand the game. Learn it. Number 46, if someone has hyped a mega pick coming in X number of days, what this really means is they have front-loaded the stock for X number of days and will be selling you their shares. Number 47, for any newfound earth-shattering refer to number 25 above. Number 48, and it's our last one, there will always be a fresh round of newbies willing to part with their hard-earned money. The question is, will you help them understand the game or take advantage of them? Now, of course, I could be wrong, but my experience says otherwise. This post is my opinion for entertainment purposes only. Always conduct your own research before buying or selling any securities. Signed, Brick.
Love it.
All right. That's going to wrap us up here tonight. Don't forget, CEO interview tomorrow night. We will announce the ticker tomorrow, I believe.
Can I add one thing real quick?
Real quick.
I'm just glad I didn't have to talk about women's sanitary napkins again tonight.
All right. And we are out.
Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio. All views and topics talked about on Stock Traders Talk Radio is solely for entertainment purposes. We are not professional financial advisors and always recommend you seek the advice of a professional financial advisor. Never invest in any stock featured on our show unless you can afford to lose your entire investment. The information contained on our show is based on sources which we believe to be reliable, but is not guaranteed by us as being accurate, and might not be a complete statement or summary of the available data. Stock Traders Talk